move ahead. So right now, let's go ahead and work with our store component. So to do that, the first thing that we need to do, we need to go ahead and create a new component inside of our components folder. Okay, and we're going to call this store component. It has to be a JSX file. In this JSX file, we have to create our file, and we have to create it with style. Okay, so that's our store component. So our store component here is going to take in an item. It's going to take an item as a prop, and we're going to have on press as well. So we are going to have two props, the item and on press. It's supposed to be component, store component. Let's see whether we made a typo. Okay, so our problem is here. What we can do here, we can just rename this to component like that. This name is okay, we can leave it like that, but this name, it has to be store component. So in our store component, we need to wrap it around a touchable opacity, because each and every time that we click, we should be redirected to another page. Okay, so we're going to have a touchable opacity. So our touchable opacity has been imported right on top, and right underneath, we're going to have a touchable opacity. So we need style for this touchable opacity. So our style is going to come from styles. Okay, and we're going to call it a wrapper. Okay, so in our styles, we're going to create a style object with the name wrapper. So that's going to be our object. So we have to give it a margin right of 15. Let's go ahead and give it a background color. So we're going to give it a background color of light white. So we're going to take colors from our constants. And here we have to make it light white. After that, let's give it a padding. We're going to give it a padding of 8. And we're going to give it a border radius of 16. Okay, so we're going to have border radius here, and we're going to give it a border radius of 16. So it's not yet hooked to our flat list, so we cannot see anything. And the next thing that we need to have our on press. So on press, we're going to map it to on press. This on press that we have on top. Okay, so we're done with this touchable opacity. Now we need to work inside. So the first thing that we need inside, we're going to require an image. Okay, the text, we can leave it there, but we're going to require an image. And the image, we're going to use a similar approach as the one that we use for our asset image. We're going to create a component with the name network image. So let's go ahead and do that. It's supposed to be network image here, and it has to be JSX. Okay, so what we can do, we can just go ahead to our asset image, because the approach is the same, and we're going to copy everything, and we're going to paste it in here. So instead of having this asset image, we're going to go ahead and replace this asset with network like that. So our source has to be a little bit different. Okay, so here we're passing data, but for our source now, it's coming from a URI. So we're going to say URI semicolon, and then here is supposed to be data like that. So that's the only change that we need to make. So we are done with this network image, and let's close it, and we're going to call the component inside of our store component. So we're going to have network image. Okay, and it's going to be a closed component. So we have to import it manually. So let's go to the top, import network image, and you're going to import it from our components like that. So here we're going to require our data. So the data is going to come from this item that we're passing here. So it's supposed to be item.image URL. That's going to be the first. Next, we're going to have our width, our height, and then we're going to have our radius. So first, our width, and our width is going to come from our sizes. It's supposed to be sizes dot width minus 18. And let's go ahead and have our height. Our height, we're going to do the same, dot height, and then we're going to divide our height by 5.8 like that. Radius, we're going to give it a radius of 16, and mod, we're going to give it a cover. So that's going to be our network image. So right now we have this component, so we have the ability to just go ahead to our nearby restaurants and hook it up here. Okay, so here we can say store component like that, and we can close it. So the first thing that we require an item. An item, we're passing the item that we're getting from our flight list, and on press. For now, let's just go ahead, give it an empty function. We can handle that a little bit later. So that's going to be our list. So now we need to go ahead and handle the text. So for the text, we're going to access our item, and from our item, we're going to get the title, if I'm not mistaken. So what we can do here, okay, that's the title. So that's okay. So far so good. The next focus is to work on everything that we're going to display right underneath our image, including this text, because we have to add a little bit of style to it and add more components right below.